Greetings everyone and welcome to Nevis. My name is Jamilah Clarke and I have lived here in Nevis my entire life. I work here at the Nevis Historical and Conservation Society and I'm very pleased to tell you about some of the highlights of Alexander Hamilton's life as a young boy here in Nevis. Alexander Hamilton, one of the most significant historical figures who has an important connection to Nevis history. Claimed as a native son by both Nevis and United States, Alexander Hamilton is considered by many historians to be America's most controversial founding father and perhaps the one with the most long-lasting legacies on the political and economic structures and systems of the United States government. Hamilton is believed to have been born in this house right behind us in January 11th in 1757. Alexander's story really begins with the story of his mother. She was a French Huguenot woman named Rachel Fawcett, whose father was a physician in Nevis. Rachel's parents were married at St. George's Parish here in Nevis. Rachel was married off when she was only 16 to Johann Michael Lavian, a Danish merchant living in Nevis. They eventually moved to and settled in St. Croix and had one son named Peter. By most accounts, Lavian was an abusive husband. The marriage was unhappy. 5 years after the birth of their son, her husband had her arrested and put in prison. When she got out, her mother helped her to flee to Nevis, leaving Peter behind with his father. Rachel's family had a home on a seaside lot here in Charlestown, and Rachel soon became involved with a Scottish trader named James Hamilton. Alexander and his older brother James were products of Rachel and Hamilton's affair, and they bore the stigma of having been born out of wedlock. The Anglican Church here in Nevis denied membership to Alexander and James Hamilton Jr., which would have been included an education in the church school. Because their parents were not legally married, instead, they received individual tutoring and classes in private school led by a Jewish headmistress. Alexander supplemented his education with a family library of 34 books. James Hamilton eventually took the young family to St. Croix, but abandoned them a year later when Hamilton was still young, leaving Rachel and her two sons destitute. She opened a small shop but died of yellow fever when Alexander was just 11. Many of Alexander Hamilton's core values and beliefs were clearly framed during his formative years right here in Nevis, including his opposition to slavery. From this garden where I'm standing, he likely watched the horrors of slavery unfold right in front of him, as slaves were offloaded in fields just a few yards away from here. One of our veteran taxi drivers here in Nevis insists that Rachel Fawcett buried Hamilton's umbilical cord right here in this garden, among many Nevisian new mothers. The practice of burying a baby's umbilical cord, a ritual of health and well-being, is still practiced. On your next visit to Nevis, don't miss a visit to the Museum of Nevis History and the exhibition in our new Hamilton House. In 2021, we'll be unveiling a new statue to honor Hamilton, Nevis's son of the soil.